I want to ask you a question. Who's coaching you? Who's asking you the tough questions? Who's telling you, man, you're the common denominator to all of your issues and challenges? Who's telling you, man, all day long you become the magnetic pulse that attracts to you both good and bad? I want to be your life coach. I want to be the one that cheers you on to the finish line. I want to be the one that you ask the tough questions. And it doesn't mean that I have all the answers, but that means that you have a partner, someone who believes in you, not the you see right now, but the you can't imagine, the you that you are to become, the you were destined to be. I always say we both need the positive and the negative. It's not enough to have the knowledge of the matter, but we must have the wisdom as well. For wisdom settles it. And that's what I want to offer you as you join me on the Coach's Corner. I want to offer you the wisdom of the matter. Maybe it might be relationships, talking about our campaigns for more, for life, the dark room for our subconscious, our spiritual journey, whatever it is. I want to be there to encourage you, to build you, to challenge you, to cheer you on to the finish line. I'm qualified to do this. Why? Because I'm you.
Welcome to another edition of the Coach's Corner right here on DCC, SIBN Radio. I appreciate you stopping by. My name is Marcus Saletta. Surely as I approach the microphone on today, I admit I have baggage, issues, things I'm working through, and things I am working out. And yes, I believe that yet with the wisdoms that I have learned from the bumps and the bruises, that I can bring the wisdoms of the matter. And I hope that I can earn the right to speak into your life. And I would be remiss if I did not say thank you very much to those of you that are listening worldwide. Thank you so much for your support. We're growing. It's taking us a minute. I understand you got a lot going on, but I appreciate you. Today we're going to be talking about the ugliness of change versus the beauty of life results. The ugliness of change versus the beauty of life results. I want to encourage you today, 24/7, we have hardcore motivation. Motivation that's not nice. It calls the hard questions into the light at 415-96radio.com. Why don't you stop by? Best time to listen is at night, because then it goes into your subconscious. This the coach. Let's get to work. So how are you doing on today? I trust that everything in your life is moving and flowing according to the plan that you have set forth. And as you set forth that plan, I trust that you are flexible and that you are pliable, moldable, if you will. Moldable is probably not a word. I know I'm going to get some emails on that. Today, ugliness, the ugliness of change. Man, listen, let me tell you, I'm going to break this thing down real quick for you because I ain't got all day to say this right here. Change is ugly. There ain't nothing nice about change, and I did use an Ebonic phrase, grammatically speaking. Ain't nothing nice about change, bruh, sis. Ain't nothing nice about it, and that's for all of us. Whatever it is that we want to change, it's going to be an ugly fight. It's going to be an ugly fight. It's going to be a showdown and a throwdown. We're going to go round for round and pound for pound, because when you think about what you need to get rid of, when you think about what's stopping you from getting to where you're trying to go, when you think about how many times you wish you could erase the past for some things, past habits, current habits even, when you think about it, it begins to paint an ugly, unrecognizable, perhaps picture in your mind and in your spirit. Listen, I'm going to tell you something else. There ain't nothing nice about my motivational techniques. We go hard in the paint because we know we have to do the inner work. Nothing's easy about change. Change is ugly. Change is drastic. Change is rough. Change is, oh man, full of bumps and bruises. Change is brutal. You say you want to grow, you're going to need to change. You say you want to change, you're going to need to be prepared. Make sure you have your seatbelt on, your helmet gear. Those of you that's in the Word, make sure you have on the whole armor of God. Those of you that are into positivity, make sure you trust in the source beyond yourself. But if you say you want to grow, you say you want to change, it's getting ready to get nasty. You say you wanted to raise, it's getting ready to get nasty. You say you want to improve your marriage, it's getting ready to get nasty. You say you want to be able to raise your kids right, it's getting ready to get nasty. Get ready for the nasty, the ugly, the unbearable, the seemingly impossible, almost the intangible. Why? Because change don't come easy. It's ugly. At first, it's not even recognizable. How do you say that, Coach? Well, you remember the law of opposites? It gets worse before it gets better. Why? Because you were aiming for better, but when you're aiming for worse, then you don't get anything close to better, because you pretty much don't operate in any sensible laws. You know what I'm saying? Momentum is impeded when you try to operate in foolishness. You feel what I'm saying? Momentum for positivity, momentum for godliness, momentum for change is impeded when you operate in foolishness. And it's a lot of people operating in foolishness. They're bringing about a change by default, but it will backfire because momentum will be impeded when sensible laws are practiced. I need some help right there. There's a whole lot of folks, even in our political system, there's this thing now, it probably always existed, but it's more prevalent now to make money off of other people's demise. I need some help right there. It's more prevalent, I'll say that again, to make money. If you think that certain political parties, and all parties are guilty of something, but if you think that certain political parties are not making money off the demise of another political party, then you're wrong. If you think a certain group of people is not making money and profits off another group of people's demise, you're wrong. And there again, change is ugly even in that sense. And you know why? Because a lot of us, we should be planning for our change, but instead we're involved in foolishness, and we're involved in drama for your mama, and we're involved in needless conversations and answering foolish questions. Somebody asked a question, I didn't even want to repeat the question. A person very close to me asked a question, and I guess that question was to mean that, you know, before I support you, you know, they asked a real dumb question. I don't even want to talk to that person. You know, don't waste my time. Change is ugly enough. I don't need to add more drama for your mama to it. I don't need to add more hiccups to it. I don't need to add more obstacles. It's going to come with its own. That's why we shouldn't even worry. That's another reason why we shouldn't worry, because change is going to have enough trouble inside of itself, inside the shell of results that you want, inside the shell of manifestation. Change will have enough trouble. It'll have enough tragedy, enough incidents and accidents. So we don't need to worry about anything, because it's going to come automatically. The only thing that we can do is learn how to rest. Learn how to do what we can. Learn how to turn over what we can't control. Learn how to just become a bit more studious and perhaps even a bit more quiet, even in our own spirit. Not just that you're talking out loud, but what you're talking out loud is the result of what you're thinking inside. And if you're thinking inside wrong, then you're going to start talking wrong. And when you start talking wrong, the fruit comes. It's the wrong fruit. And then you start eating the wrong fruit. And then your digestive system and your spirit is all messed up. Change is ugly. Don't let nobody sugarcoat. Don't let no pastor, no bishop, no rector, no shepherd, no prophet, so-called prophet, no politician, no community leader ever promise you and get you all jimmied up, as they say, with the promise of the beauty of change without first accepting the fact that change is ugly. And the law of opposites is going to always work when change is in effect. Now, there's several types of changes. There's change by default. You're not doing nothing with your life, so somebody else is doing something with your life. Let me say that again. You're not doing nothing with your life, so somebody else is doing something with your life. Why am I here? Because you ain't doing nothing with your life. You just want to be satisfied. You just want to be pleased. I heard somebody say that. I just want to be satisfied. I just want to party. Because when you say you want to party, that's really what you're saying. You're saying, I just want to be pleased. I just want to have a good time. There's nothing wrong with having a good time, but when we have good time at the risk of our own future, that's not a good time at all. And that's change by default. You didn't implement change, so change was forced upon you. You see, and we have a lot of that already in our society. We don't need any more of that in our personal lives. And then you have the change that is on purpose, intentional change. But even in that, many of us give up. We give way to the pressure. We give way to the accolades, or we give way to the rejection, or we give way to whatever it is that opposes where you're trying to go. And I have learned change is nasty. Ain't no rubber gloves going to protect you from the dirtiness of what you got to do to get to where you got to go. I felt that right there. I said, ain't no rubber gloves. And ain't no rubber ducky sitting in a bathtub full of water that's going to make it look pretty enough and attractive enough for you to be able to get to where you want to go. You're going to have a great imagination. And you're going to have to stand on not only the promises perhaps of God, but the principles of life. And you're going to have to digest the fact that beauty is in the roughness. Beauty is in the process. The beauty of the manifestation of what it is that you imagine, the beauty of the manifestation of what it is that you are reaching for is found in the ugliness of process. Rewind and listen to that again. Because we don't like process. I don't like process. You don't like process. I was thinking about a piece of equipment that's in the studio, and I didn't even know I needed this equipment. I had a subsequent smaller piece of equipment, but then I was blessed when I saw this other piece of equipment that was at a deal, but it was so large, I didn't know if I needed it. And then I was blessed with the confirmation from a staff member to go ahead on and purchase this piece of equipment. And this piece of equipment makes my job so much easier as a radio station. It makes our radio station operate a lot easier. But the funny part about it is when I think about all the times that I thought I would be satisfied with the smaller piece, I suffered in ugliness because I didn't have this and I didn't have that. I suffered. I couldn't even stretch my faith really beyond that because I didn't think I even needed that. That's another aspect of the ugliness of change. What is it about our lives that we don't even know that we need, but yet we know that the end result of what it is that we could imagine will require something to change? The end result of what it is that we imagine requires something to give way. I can't keep going the same way, doing the same thing, and expect a different result. If I want to get a different result, I have to really face the ugliness of changing how I operate. From my perception to my belief system, you see what I'm saying? To my tactics. You know, I recently re-accepted my music ministry, my music outreach. I probably did about 15 years of leading praise and worship in the Atlanta area. About 10 years solid, and about 5 to 7 years in Ohio. And one of the things that I've noticed is that it makes me smile. Now, it's a lot of work to get back into it, and the tracks and composing music and playing and all that. But you know what's funny? The ugliness of my process has brought me to more work, but yet the work is not the same work from the previous process. This work is the beauty of the previous work being manifested. I need some help right there. You need to rewind that right there. This work. And I wanted to be able, I must admit to you, I wanted to try to equate this process. See, that's where we get in trouble right there with the last process. But there are some processes that you're going to go through in life that is simply the process of beauty, the process of blossoming from the last or previous ugly process of working. I need some help right there. Remember what I said, the final place, the final pillar of faith is rest and love, by the way. And love. A lot of folks say they got faith and they walking by faith, but they just hard to get along with. They grievous to be around. They quarrel all the time. You see what I'm saying? And so they're not really walking in brotherly affection. You see, and therefore they're not settled. Their faith is not settled. The final pillar for faith's maturity is rest. That I know that this process is not like the last one. I may not can put my finger on what this process is going to be about. I made a commitment, again, as I was saying, to the music that I so loved, and singing and playing and practicing. And in my mind's eye, I wanted to equate it with my past. But I heard a Tweety bird, if I can say that, but it really wasn't a Tweety bird. I heard something say to me, where you are now is no comparison to where you were. Where you are now is light years past where you were. Stop. Why are you looking at yourself in yesterday's light? Just because you're going through the ugliness of change does not necessarily mean you have to equate everything with ugliness. I felt that one right there. Just because you're going through the process of ugliness doesn't mean you have to have a perception of ugliness on life. Because at the end of the ugliness of your process, at the end of the ugliness of your duty, at the end of the ugliness of you changing, remember now, we are the common denominator in every situation. I know I got to go to commercial break, but this is something that's very, very important. Remember, it is because of the beauty that sits in front of me that I endure the ugliness in my right now. I need some help. It is because of the beauty that sits in front of me that I endure the ugliness of my right now. And I'm not talking about the ugliness of abuse. I need some help. I'm not talking about enduring that which should not be endured. I'm not talking about tolerating that which should not be tolerated. I'm talking about that even after you come outside of being a victim, even as you wrap yourselves in the principle of championship mentality and conditioning, you still gonna go through some ugliness. Cause folks ain't gonna like you now. They liked you more when you was a victim. When they could feel sorry for you, they liked you more. You all gonna push me. Don't push me to the edge, okay? Don't push me to the edge. They liked you more when you were a victim. They liked you more when you were down and out. But now that you up and on top of things, you got your head up, your shoulders squared back, they got a problem with you. Why? Because they see what they can't articulate. That the beauty of your ugliness is forthcoming. And you and I have got to be able to see the beauty of our future as we walk through the process of ugliness. Right now, this is the coach.
Ustedes están escuchando SIBN, transmitido por Salet USA TV. Síguenos en Twitter @Salet USA TV o visítenos en www.41596radio.com. Ustedes están escuchando SIBN, transmitido por Salet USA TV. Síguenos en Twitter @Salet USA TV o visítenos en www.41596radio.com.
SCTW. That's right. The Select USA TV Collabo Media Groups and Partners Worldwide for a limited time has opened up its membership to the general public. Now you can collaborate worldwide with media conglomerate SIBN Television and Radio. If you want to join free of charge for this limited time offer, then visit www.WeSupportSelectUSATV.com. That's right, we have programs, benefits, service, and so much more to offer to our members exclusively at SCGBW. That's right, visit www.WeSupportSelectUSATV.com. www.WeSupportSaletTV.com. That's www.WeSupportSaletTV.com.
It's not enough to have material wealth. The measure of a man or woman is from the inside out and not from the outside in. Don't trick yourself. You will wreck yourself trying to impress others and trying to keep up with the Smiths and the Joneses. It's about time that you start looking at the finish line. And at DCC, we offer the hardest core motivation, daily inspiration for your spiritual foundation that you can find. Why? Because our philosophy is simple. We are the common denominator in every situation.
Yeah, man, welcome back to the Coach's Corner, man, as we do it up right here, talking about the ugliness of change and the beauty of life's results. My now is ugly. And it's always going to be some aspect of your life that's ugly, you know. It could be the grind, you know what I'm saying? It could be the relationships. It could be any number of things. But ugliness is good, as long as it gets me to the beauty of life's results. But when we start going through ugly and then acting ugly and having a perception or outlook on life that's ugly, then that's what gets us messed up, and it burns the futuristic beauty that we could be beholding. I need some help right there. I said it burns the futuristic beauty of manifestational results that you could be beholding, that you could enjoy. So just because your situation is ugly doesn't mean your attitude and your altitude have to be ugly. You have to have an outlook of the beauty that is to come, though you are walking through the coals of ugly situations. A job that you once liked, but now that you don't like the job, you still enjoy what you do on the job, but the people on the job have gotten on your last nerve because they don't really want to work. They show up for a check. I need some help. And so thereby now you have a grievous spirit when you go to work, because there are folks there that are making sure that the atmosphere is not conducive to get things done. I need some help. But you know what you need to do? You need to perhaps look at your job as another indicator that you are going through this ugly process because there's beauty in tomorrow's sunshine. And that beauty could be that there's a new opportunity being brewed. And are you prepared for other opportunities other than just your job? And especially for those of you that have hit the glass ceiling on your job, you know you've done everything you're supposed to do, said everything you're supposed to say, took every position and attitude that you're supposed to take, but yet and still there are folks on the job that still want to act like a fool. Well, the ugliness of your condition could be pointing to the indicators of the flowers that will bloom in your tomorrow if only you would begin to get ready and till the ground, pull the weeds, turn the soil, add the fertilizer, and then pour water, respectively, and allow the sun to shine. I felt that right there. The ugliness of change has various indicators inside of it. What is your ugliness in your situation and circumstance saying to you today? What does your ugliness say? And we declare yet and still that the beauty of our tomorrows will only be realized when we accept the fact that I must go through this process. Yea, thus the psalmist wrote, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear. The ugliness is in the shadow. It looks worse than it really is. It sounds worse than it really is. It is not as bad as some would perceive it to be, but it's still ugly. There are days, for instance, when you get up to go do what you got to do and you coordinate, but you still don't feel right, that your colors are right, that your hair is right, that your makeup is right, that your shoes are right. And you know you're running out of time to decide, so you run out the door with what you planned or what you got or what you changed into, but you still don't feel comfortable. That's an ugliness right there. But what do? You start acting ugly all day because you don't feel it? No, ugliness and change doesn't set on the axis of sensationalism. The ugliness of change does not sit on the axis of sense-ram lifestyle living. The ugliness of change is what it is. Change is ugly. But keeping before me at all times is the beauty of the outcomes that I'm going to eventually come into. Keeping before me at all times is the beauty of the outcomes of the manifestations that I have spoken and I have imagined. And it always turns out better than I imagined and better than I've spoken, because I'm trusting in sources beyond myself. I need some help. In the multitude of counselors, there's safety. So my counselors, those that are for the causes that I'm for, and those that are for me to fulfill my purpose and destiny, they have encouraged me. And then there's comfort as I'm being prepared for by the grace and the mercy to cover the mistakes and the errors that I sometimes continue to make, or make without knowing, or make them knowingly without changing them. You see what I'm saying? Grace and mercy to tell me this is the way, walk therein. Don't walk over here. Don't say anything right there. Speak up right here. Write that thing down. Don't worry about this over here. Take a chill pill, sit back and relax, whatever the case may be. But before my eyes, perceptionally speaking, I am always regurgitating. I am always muttering over. I am always meditating on the results that I want, and I am going to achieve those results. I'm going to achieve what I set out to achieve, and generally by the time you get there, you've achieved more, because you realize and accepted the fact that the process to getting there was not going to be pretty. Some folk, that's why a lot of folk ain't married. It is sad. It is a sad day in America when gays want to be married more than heterosexuals, because heterosexuals have plummeted down in relating one to another. I need some help. I said something right there. For all you church folks right there, that was a revelation right there. You need to grab hold of that. It's a sad day in America when gays want rights to be married, and they want to be happy with what they got, whether you agree with them or not, more so than the heterosexuals who have plummeted in marriage stability and longevity in the past 50 years. With the separations, with single parent homes, with fathers not being present. You talk about ugliness. It is sad. It is sad that heterosexuals cannot see that relationships can't always be pretty. That relationships don't have to be violent. They don't have to be extremely criminal. They don't have to be all of these things in order to get through the ugliness of change. It is a sad day when you have Christians, particularly, who all they think about is scripture, this, that, and the other, but they don't have the skill set. I did say skill set. Yes, I did say skill set to begin to relate one toward another. I like that movie, I Think I Love My Wife, because I think I do. But let's not deny the ugliness of being attracted to who we shouldn't be. I need some help right there. Let's not deny the ugliness of hormonal imbalance even in the man. I need some help right there. Let's not deny the ugliness of how we may not get along, and we may have a long drought where certain things are not working out, and it has nothing to do with your spouse, but it begins to tear at your relationship only for the simple reason that you've internalized it and you can't seem to shake it, and how ugly it is. But all for the joy that is set before me, for the beauty of the results that is to come, I endure in my relationship, or I endure on my job, or I endure because I know a brighter day is coming. I know, and I speak forth even now that I know. And that's what you got to do. Women who love to shop practice this all the time, even though you can go overboard with it. They go through their closet and, I don't have any such and such shoes. They may not have the money, or they may have the money, but they go looking to begin to paint that picture of a set of shoes being in the wardrobe that will coordinate with a variety of colors. And what I'm saying to you is that I want to encourage you to go window shopping in your mind, so that you can entertain the fact that tomorrow is going to be a better day. I don't care what they say. Change is ugly. Ain't nothing pretty about change, no matter where change has to occur. But oh, for the beauty of life results that's set before me. And some of us yet lack the faith to believe that our lives could be better in the beauty of tomorrow. I put myself in that category as well, because there are areas of my life where I need to surrender what I thought was beauty and strength and joy, and give in to the beauty of the peace that passeth all understanding, and rest in the fact that whatever it is that I can do without today will be replaced tomorrow with something better, healthier, more spiritually sound, more mature, psychosocially more beneficial. This is what we live for. We accept the fact that life is ugly, but we also accept the fact that life is beautiful. Until next time, this is Coach Marcus Salette saying, take care of yourself.